Welcome everyone to this daily Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for Monday, April 25th, 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link because the signs are different. All right, so we're in the disseminating phase of the lunar cycle here today, which is coming off of that full moon. So it's been a time of awareness, I think, last week and this last weekend in terms of where we can continue to develop ourselves and perhaps even improve our environment. So hopefully finding the middle path with that and moving forward with any insights that perhaps we gained last week in terms of where we can continue this personal development. So today the moon is going to be shifting into Ophiuchus, and so there's been, since yesterday, this deeper energy that we are feeling perhaps the second half of the day. And going into today, it's still very much about those deep feelings. I think it's excellent for transformation, for seeing the deep truths of life, the deep truths of self, and having that willingness to dive deep and to get intimate with self. And through that, what's happening is it's a healing time, especially as we go into the later part of the day once the moon shifts into Ophiuchus. This is where we have this opportunity to really accept the self and these deep aspects of self, which then, of course, leads to the transformation and leads to the healing, which can be very freeing, and again, that can lead to intimacy and deeper connections and deeper compassion with both ourselves and others. So that's going to be the backdrop with the moon. Now, the sun is, of course, still in Aries, so it's still a time of, I think, moving forward. And I think through getting our bodies moving, through physical exercise, through getting active, setting goals and intentions, we can really be gaining a lot of prana, a lot of energy with the sun here. Mercury has been in Aries. Mercury is going to go retrograde later on in the week. So there's this bit of slowing down now, I think, with the daily routines and perhaps what we're thinking about. So we're coming into this reflective time, and I think as things start to slow down, it's good to just kind of be aware of that and to maybe take that slower approach to those activities. Venus, of course, still in Pisces. We can be enjoying perhaps that more understanding, sensitive, and compassionate approach in both our relationships and just in general. You know, there's this enjoyment, this value, and this desire, I think, to have a bit more of that peace and tranquility in our lives. So that's going to be the placements of everything. Now today we do have the moon forming a T-square, which has been this T-square with Saturn and Neptune and Jupiter. All right, this three-way T-square. So this has been the confusion and doubt sometimes, you know, uncertainty about what the future has, uncertainty about what we're building in our lives, and this feeling too of this dissolving of our structures, dissolving of the things that we've been building. That's been that Neptune and Jupiter squaring up to Saturn. So it's for us to see the things that are larger than what we can see. You know, the thing about Neptune and Jupiter too is it's intuitive. We're not able to actually understand it practically per se, but we can access it from the present moment and understand that things are unfolding in a divine process and they're much larger than we can see. So it's good to be working and to be challenged, you know, to challenge ourselves during this time to continuously grow and build towards our future, but in the present moment, right? Allowing the outcomes and the future possibilities to be unknown. And it's through that presence of building we are actually learning quite a bit right now, which is Saturn retrograde. And I think reflecting on what we have been structuring, what we have been building in our lives, where have we been putting our energy, especially with Mars retrograde, these are good things to reflect on and reconsider and perhaps redo or rebuild in our lives. But again, remembering that there is this importance of accepting uncertainty. And it's through that uncertainty actually that we're developing our faith, we're developing our trust, but again, also, it's allowing us to see things in a way we haven't seen before. And we probably won't see it just yet. But once it's done, especially as we go into next year, it's a bit of that solidification, the uncertainty lifts, and maybe we'll see that we ended up exactly where we needed to, although we may have been resisting or may have been trying to figure it out. So that's going to be the strongest aspect of the day. As you can see here, that's what the moon's forming. The moon going over Saturn does suggest this importance of having discipline with the emotional body. Oftentimes in spiritual teachings, we hear about having awareness of the mind, but also of what you might call the pain body, or what someone like Eckhart Tolle would call the pain body, which is the emotional side of the ego, which is our emotions, on that level. Not so much the feelings, but the emotions. So it's a good day to have that awareness of the emotions, to not take them too seriously, and have that sense of mastery, right? Just like with the mind, which we can do through observation, which I think is an excellent day for. I think with all this watery energy and Ophiuchus, it's really about the feeling side, or the emotional side of the mind, and observing that, being aware of that, and having that mastery over them so that we're not reacting. We can listen to them. They're a tool. They have the information. And then from presence, we can take whatever actions are necessary. All right, so I feel like that's going to be the strongest energy, as well as, again, this working on being okay with uncertainty about the future, continuously building things, though, and being patient and persistent and hardworking in the present moment, I think is excellent, especially with wanting to learn more with that Saturn retrograde. Maybe restructuring some things, maybe brainstorming intuitively, and all of that can be very constructive. One thing I want to say also is that Mercury is sextiling up to Chiron, so there is this healing energy very much available all week long, because when Mercury goes station later on, he's still going to be within this orb. So the healing here is particularly with our minds, and I think it makes it an excellent week, in fact, for all types of mentally relaxing activities. Right, because Chiron's in Pisces, showing us the importance of having more of this faith and trust, reestablishing our relationship with God and the future uncertainties, and with presence. So it's a good time to be healing this part of ourselves, this acceptance of ourselves. And I think particularly that can be very healing to the mind, right? It can create a bit of rejuvenation and a bit of tranquility when it comes to the mind and the daily things and the daily concerns. All right. So that's the day in a nutshell. If you guys do have any questions, please do let me know, and I'll see you all tomorrow.